If you guys have been around WarThunder for a while, you probably remember the dominance that the F-14 Tomcat brought to the game when it was first added. And if you've been around the game for a while and paid attention to major updates, you'd probably also know that the leak lists we get pretty early on are not really always correct, if ever correct. So don't really pay too much attention to that. But on this certain leak list, there were two aircraft that kind of surprised me that were on there. The F-14A Late and the F-14D. Now, this leak list has the F-14A Late arriving as a squadron vehicle for the US, and that honestly is not that shocking because, the US could actually use a top-tier squadron vehicle, and the F-14A Late would not necessarily be the biggest surprise ever. Now, the F-14A Late would offer things like guided bombs, AIM-9Ms, upgraded avionics, and I do believe slightly better engines. The difference between it and the F-14B would be that it would still be on the A airframe, and it would have not better engines than the B. It would have slightly improved engines that the A we have right now is, but it would not be as good as what the B has. And then the F-14D, as if you guys are Tomcat fans would know, that would be the F-14 that would get access to the AIM-120. So it would be really cool to actually see these Tomcats come to the game, and I really wanted to make a video talking about, is that going to happen, and how likely is that to happen? It would not surprise me, especially something like the F-14A Late. This aircraft could come with the AIM-7Ps, with the AIM-9Ms, with upgraded bombs, and the F-14A Late also has access to cluster munitions, so it could be a way to add cluster munitions to the game for kind of funsies, small little amounts equipped on the F-14A Late. As far as it coming as a squadron vehicle, that's not necessarily that shocking. I think it's something Gaijin would totally do, and allows players to get an F-14A for free, obviously, but also are able to buy it, so it kind of has some sort of premium effect that Gaijin wants to obviously make money. I think it coming in this update, I don't know. The US getting an aircraft in this update, I think yes. I think it's a way for Gaijin to actually have a filler aircraft so the US gets something so people don't complain, especially if Japan ends up getting the F2. But it just would be so quickly after what the Hornets that I don't know. I do think the F-14A Late arriving to WarThunder is something we will see. I also think we will see the F-14D arrive in WarThunder. I think the A Late would make the most sense to me personally if we were to see it in this major update, at least arriving with things like the AIM-7Ps and the AIM-9Ms, something that a lot of players have asked for to arrive on the F-14A early for a long time. And obviously it would finally, after the years we've had the Tomcat in-game, it would finally give something, we've had the A early. It would make sense to finally get something like the A Late. And, like I said, for a squadron vehicle, it just kind of makes sense. As far as the F-14D, however, having that as a actual tech tree vehicle is what, I've always expected. I know a lot of people said it'd probably come as a premium or an event. Once we got the F-14A IRAF event aircraft, though, I knew we probably were not going to see the F-14D as an event. And I seem to be kind of correct, at least if that ends up what happening. Obviously, the leak list is not true. Or at least it probably isn't true. It's just kind of cool to go over and see what some of these guys are saying could come. And I think having the F-14A Late as a, arriving in the F-14D at the same time, that'd be kind of cool to get both Tomcats come side by side. I mean, it would just be a nicely upgraded version of the F-14A. It kind of close it out. I mean, once we see the F-14D, that's kind of it for Tomcats. That's it. Well, no more. We're done. So it'd be kind of sad that would be the end, but one of the funnest aircraft. And I really hope we do see the F-14A Late come in this update. I think it'd be fun to play. I'm excited. If it does arrive with the AIM-7Ps and the AIM-9Ms, or AIM-9Ms, that'd be very nice, especially getting the access to the guided munitions it would have. And cluster munitions could be kind of fun to play around with too. And then as far as the F-14D goes, just a heavier F-14B with better avionics and the AIM-120. So it would be nice to have. Also, the F-14A Late did have access to upgraded Phoenixes, the electronic countermeasure versions. I'm not sure if we'd see that in-game, but it would be something cool to see. Anyways, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Do you guys think that this leak list holds any truth whatsoever? Do you think we'll see anything like the F-14A Late or the F-14D arriving in WarThunder in this update? Do you think we'll see any of those aircraft arriving in War Thunder this year? I mean, is it possible to see the end of the Tomcats arriving to War Thunder in the year 2025? I personally think it is. I think seeing one of the Tomcats coming in this update isn't that far of a stretch. I would not be surprised if we saw both of them. The leak list, as far as other vehicles go, feels pretty true. Let me know down below if you guys want me to cover any more of those. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will catch you guys in a later video.